Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
The Scouts will now be presenting a plaque to the Short family to honor Gavin's many contributions of service and accomplishments while earning the rank of Eagle Scout. Please turn your attention to the screen for a slideshow prepared by our colleagues in the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Something wrong? Did you hear what I was thinking? Did I talk way too long when I told you all my feelings that night? Is it you? Is it me? Did you find somebody better? Someone who isn't me? 'Cause I know that I was never your type. Never really your type. Overthinking's got me drinking, messing with my head. Whoa. Tell me what you hate about me. Whatever it is, I'm sorry. I know I can be dramatic, but everybody said we had it. I'm coming to terms with a broken heart. I guess that sometimes good things fall apart. When you said it was real, guess I really did believe you. Did you fake how you feel when we walked down by the river that night? That night when we fogged up the windows in your best friend's car, 'cause we couldn't leave the windows down in December. Tell me what you hate about me. Whatever it is, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Nair, and this is the OU TV Weather Brief.
Never seen Mona Lisa close, but I've seen perfection under your clothes. Yeah, we fell in love and we built a home, though we may never see the streets of Rome. And I hope it's okay, 'cause the unknown is on its way. If I died in your arms, just right where I'm supposed to be, you know I'm not afraid as long as you're next to me. So tell me, will you hold me when the curtains close? If I died in your arms, just right where I'm supposed to be.
Here in Nomad, we're going to be in a slight risk, and the main risk, if any storms do happen, is going to be potentially baseball-sized hail, as we are in a hatched area.
No, we may never sleep under northern lights, but I've seen stars flicker in your eyes. And I hope it's okay, 'cause the unknown is on its way. If I die in your arms, just right where I'm supposed to be, you know I'm not afraid as long as you're next to me. So tell me, will you hold me when the curtains close? If I died in your arms, just right where I'm supposed to be. Just right where I'm supposed to be. Lay me down in the ground by my hometown girl. We never leave.
This has been an OU TV Weather Brief. Make sure you watch OU Nightly live at 4:30 and again at 9. Thank you and have a great day.
Forget my fears every time that I'm underneath. All along, all I needed was you. So I swear I'm not scared when it's over. If I died in your arms, just right where I'm supposed to be, you know I'm not afraid as long as you're next to me. So tell me, will you hold me when the curtains close? If I died in your arms, just right where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, just right where I'm supposed to be. Just right where I'm supposed to be.
So clearly, Gavin, Nick, and Drake chased down their dreams, and they were living life to the fullest. Every time I saw them, they were incredibly happy. Their groups of friends were happy. They found their passion early in life. They were here at the University of Oklahoma doing exactly what they always wanted from when they were very young. And it was just an honor to see them grow as scientists and also people and students here at the University of Oklahoma. Now some students have agreed to speak as representatives of their friends and classmates. First, we have Sarah Raffel.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Sarah Raffel. There is no easy way to start a speech about the loss of 3 of my best friends. I've spent the past couple of days trying to find the right words to let everyone know and understand how much of an impact these 3, Gavin, Nick, and Drake, had on everyone their paths crossed with. My fellow members of Met Crew Chasers and I had the privilege of being in the same group of friends as our OU3 and had the greater privilege of growing past a stage of friendship into a family. Gavin, Nick, and Drake were not just our best friends, they were our brothers. Whether you knew the boys from classes, organizations on campus, mutual friends, work, or were friends with them, you cannot deny the impact that they had on every single one of us. For my fellow classmates, it might have been Gavin trying to explain some sort of math concept to you. For all the gamers in the room, possibly you had a conversation with Drake about Halo or some other game that he was into at the time. For all the social butterflies, you might have run into Nick at an event across campus for an organization he was a part of, because let's be honest, he is probably one of the most involved people on OU campus. And of course, these 3 boys could tell and explain to you nearly any meteorological concept you wanted to know about. No matter how you knew them, their kindness, willingness to help, and joy spread to every single soul they came across. Their light shone across campus, across their hometowns, and more importantly, their light continues to shine on across the world. Gavin, Nick, and Drake were some of the best people I have and will ever meet in my life. Their utter willingness to help those in need, to spread kindness across campus, to make jokes during those desperate times where we all really needed a laugh. As we navigate this very difficult time, we must remember the boys' core values and spread them to those that we meet. We must lean on each other during this time and continue to reminisce and share those precious memories of kindness and joy that they have left with us. We also need to spread that to those around us and let their light continue to shine on through the community. I want to end this speech with the saying that I've carried with me through difficult times of the past. Grief is like a suitcase. Some days it's harder to carry. It might be full of bricks and you will be lugging it around until you can't anymore, and that's okay. Some days it might be full of feathers and you may be able to pick it up and carry it around you wherever you go, and that's also okay. As we carry this suitcase for the rest of our lives, we must remember that we do not carry it alone. It is okay to lean on others and let them help you carry the suitcase. Whether it be a family member, a friend, or whoever else may help, we are all going through this together. Gavin, Nick, and Drake's legacies will continue to impact our community as they always have. Thank you.
Thank you. This is on behalf of Peter Montos. Drake was an amazing friend. He lit up every room and always had a joke or story to tell. His personality, enthusiasm, and love for others was infectious. I met him through OWL, and I never attended a shift that he wasn't at. His commitment to learning, spending time with his peers, was admirable. He loved his weather stories, especially about Indiana. I was really looking forward to having him as a new roommate for the next year, and am beyond heartbroken that I will not get to have that experience. Gavin, you were one of the smartest and warm-hearted, too many papers. You were one of the smartest and warm-hearted individuals I had the privilege of meeting. I met you through Al as well and was always in awe of your brilliance, your creativity, engagement, and dedication to learning and understanding material was unmatched. Like Drake, I cannot remember many shifts that I attended and you did not. As much as I loved giving you a hard time for being a Cubs fan, I will miss that banter dearly. That's it.
Good evening. I'm Parker Alfstead.
And I'm Alex Fuller.
2 members of the class of 25.
2 people forever influenced by the 3 we're celebrating today.
Gavin, Drake, and Nick will always be cherished in our hearts, and their actions will live on in our memories.
Gavin was the smartest, kindest, most organized person we've ever met. The man's couldn't snap his fingers, but he sure could tell you what was wrong with line 69 on your code.
Nice. Gavin always went out of his way when help was needed, but the brash humor came out in all other circumstances. Every repeated joke only got more hilarious, and you knew if he was nearby, your day would brighten up.
Drake was a man of passion and determination. He could go on for hours about his favorite hobbies, but most important was his care for his friends. He looked out for those he cared about and always made sure they were doing their best.
Drake's second home was the undergrad lounge, where mass chaos ensued. From GeoGuessr to the soundboard, homework to hanging out, there was never a bland moment when Drake was around.
And then Nick. Nick was always a positive, enthusiastic, and silly person. And in all honesty, he is the major reason why we are up here speaking today on the boys' behalf. He was a leader and cared deeply about his friends, showing us every day through his actions and his words that we were important and loved.
His positive attitude and infectious smile brought happiness and good vibes wherever he went, and his silly mannerisms and antics ensured that our times together were never dull.
The impacts these 3 had on all of us will follow us for the rest of our lives. Day in and day out, they displayed the positives this world had to offer. They were passionate about meteorology and their hobbies, but most importantly, they brought out the best in those they cared about.
Today, we want you to leave with one thing. Display the actions these 3 men showed us every day. Be the positive light the world needs. Show kindness and help others. But most importantly, be the person you want to be and don't allow others to put your positive qualities down. This is what was shown to us on a daily basis, and this is exactly how they would have wanted us to carry on. Thank you.
Thank you. Now Bruce Pollock will speak as a member of the Oklahoma Weather Lab, and Savannah Southard will speak as a member of the OU combined chapters of AMS and NWA.
Thank you. Hello, all. I want to thank everyone for being present today to help support the family and friends of Drake, Gavin, and Nick, as well as to celebrate their lives. I may have met them at different times, but each one of these amazing people touched my life in a different way, and I wanted to take the time to share them all with you today. Drake and I started college at the same time, fall of 2018. We both walked into Tuesday's night owl shift, and fell in love with the organization, and it became the backdrop to the start of a great friendship. Drake and I bonded over our love of video games. Despite the fact that we didn't play the same games, we had a mutual understanding that they were what gave us joy. I distinctly remember him coming back from a Halo tournament in Houston and telling me how much he both liked and hated being in Houston, which is my hometown. He had a blast and was always recommending new and exciting games for me to play, which I always enjoyed, as you can never have too many video games to play. For this upcoming year, Drake was also going to be my roommate, and we were both super excited as the talks of video games, baseball, and meteorology could continue rather than stopping once we had to go home for the day. I will always think of Drake as not only my classmate, but my friend, roommate, and fellow forecaster. I met Gavin during the COVID-19 pandemic as our OWL shifts were completely virtual. Gavin began attending my shifts each week virtually until they finally came back in person this past semester to be, He always brought enthusiasm to learn new things each shift and offered insight into how he thought a forecast would pan out. He was never shy to offer input or correct a mistake on my part, which just served to make everyone a better forecaster in the shift. Gavin was also a very kind soul and was never above helping out his fellow classmates, including myself. Last fall, I took physical math, which is one of the hardest math classes this university has to offer. And if anyone knows my track record with math, I was for sure going to fail. He spent several days a week trying to tutor me and help me understand these difficult concepts as he wanted me to be successful with him. And his hard work paid off as I actually ended up getting an A in that class because of him. To me, Gavin was my classmate, my friend, and my winter weather expert, and for his guidance and teachings, I will always be grateful. I met Nick during the COVID-19 pandemic just like Gavin through our virtual screens. Nick was always a positive, charismatic person, and you can tell from the kindness in his eyes that he wanted to make the world better. My fondest memory of Nick was actually at a party. I was still trying to socialize with the group, and I had been invited over to hang out with everyone. I showed up, and Nick made sure I felt safe, welcomed, and included at the party. He introduced me to people. He made jokes, and was just a very welcoming person in general. I know from his briefs at Nightly he was going to make a phenomenal broadcast meteorologist. His ability to communicate about the weather while also remaining calm, cool, and collected was truly masterful. Nick, to me, will always be a shining example of how to be a kind communicator in person, and I hope that his spirit in this regard sustains itself through the people's lives he touched. These three boys were special and unique. These three boys, while special and unique, were truly great people. They wanted the world to be an amazing place and never backed down from a challenge to make it better. This energy is something I hope we can all carry with ourselves moving forward, as I believe they would want us to make the world a better place as they did for us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Savannah Southward, and on behalf of the University of Oklahoma's student chapter of the American Meteorological Society and National Weather Association, I want to thank you all for being here today and sharing your love, your light, your stories, and everything just despite the circumstances. OU SCAN did not just lose 3 members of our chapter, but we lost a plethora of light and laughter from these 3 incredible individuals. Anytime you saw Drake, Nick, and Gavin, they always greeted you with a smile. Even if you're having a terrible day, Nick would run up and bombard you with hugs. And Drake would perfectly execute the most random joke out of thin air and make you laugh. And then Gavin was just already laughing. So if Gavin was laughing, it was really impossible to just not join in. But aside from their striking personalities and how they cared for and treated others, they truly left an everlasting impact on all of us. They were truly each dedicated to this field, and not just for their own personal benefit. Drake spent countless hours in the Oklahoma Weather Lab. He was learning viable forecasting techniques and communication techniques. And Nick practiced diligently in front of the green screen because he wanted to be all of you, like the most favorite and trusted broadcast meteorologist. And Gavin conducted hurricane research, and he also aided every single one of his peers in the classroom. He was our human calculator. But simply put, Drake, Nick, and Gavin wanted to help others. This upcoming year, I was personally looking forward to serving on the officer board with Gavin, who was voted treasurer, and Nick, who was voted publicist. We had so many talks about what direction we wanted our organization to go, from inclusion efforts to social event ideas, which Drake was 100% pushing for a Halo tournament. But SCAN looks forward to honoring them in the days and years to come. I could stand here for hours and try to convey just how much these 3 meant to me, but I'm sure I would be reiterating what has already been said. I'm so thankful to know Drake, Nick, and Gavin as they subtly taught us the most important aspects in life. Be your most authentic self, treat others with kindness and love, and never stop chasing your dreams. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Now, each of the families would like to address their sons, friends, and community. The Brooks family will go first, and then will be presented a token from the OU Esports Association.
Drake's mom. You're supposed to say, hi, Drake's mom. Thank you. He was so excited to go to this school. I don't know if you all know, but one of the first things that he told me when he decided that OU was his place, besides the National Weather Service being on campus, he's like, Mom, I can be in the National Weather Service taking classes. The university was founded December 19th, 1890. Drake's birthday is December 19th. He saw that as a sign that this is where he was supposed to be. And although I'm sorry at times, I have thought that I wished he would have picked a different school. Because I might have my boy with me, but I can't hold him back as a parent. One of the hardest things you have to do is let go and let them fly. And he flew here. And he flew with some really, really great people. And I'm so glad to be able to welcome you guys all into our family. You might not get a Christmas gift, but you'll probably get a Christmas card. I don't want our boys to be forgotten. I want you to carry forth from this day forward the love that they had for each other and for people. Their calling, meteorology, was not just about the STEM and about the cool thermodynamics and all the different things. It was about helping people. It was about making people weather aware. It was about getting your basement because the tornado's about to hit. Just look around you, see who's next to you, and don't take that for granted because you don't know how long you have. And so just live every day to its fullest like our boys did. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Moog. I'm the director of the OU Esports and Co-Curricular Innovation Department, as well as the advisor for the OU Gaming Club. And I was thinking about something to share with all of you from something that I experienced with Drake. But as I tuned into the funeral celebration of life this last Saturday, I saw something that is breaking me down once again. Many of you have referenced Drake's love for video games. I'm only here to amplify that. But you referenced one specific game. And one of the things that I want to instill in all of you that Drake represents is the fact that the person that I met in 2018, in fact, was the same person he grew up to become before even coming to OU. Imagine a world where you're empowered to just be who you are. All of you enabled that, and you as well, of course. This man got buried with a Halo energy sword in his casket. Not joking. And his father put it in it. And then the Halo theme played as the family gave to give condolences. I pray every single one of you finds that support in whatever you find your passions in. And Drake will forever be iconic for just being himself. So, on behalf of our community, This is a placeholder t-shirt of our club, but in the upcoming weeks, I have ordered an artifact that I will not explain. I would much rather it just have the shock value when it comes to your doorstep. However, another piece that I will share is Matt and I are currently wearing the first generation of the first licensed jersey for competitive video games at the University of Oklahoma. And the newer one, which we didn't wear, you will be getting a copy of it with Drake's name on it. And the significance of this, before you clap, the significance of this, the only people that have been able to ever obtain this jersey have competed on behalf of OU. And I love this for Drake because he was consistently a part of our community. And I had no idea within the first hour of you dropping him off on campus that I would be one of his first contact points. And then 1 year later, he was on the curbside welcoming incoming freshmen to do the exact same thing. He is an ambassador for the very movement of a 5-year development that I represent and the communities that he enjoyed and have met. Whether you are not in the OU Gaming Club or not, gaming is one of those transformative topics that breaks ice regardless of any barrier you may think of. So thank you for sharing Drake with the OU family. We are better for it. And I'm sorry. I'll reach out to your address in a interview with you. I appreciate you so much. You're better. Thank you. Me too. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. And now the Nair family will speak and be presented a gift from the OU Indian Student Association.
Hey y'all, my name is Krishna Nair. I am the twin brother of Nick Nair.
And then I'm Keen Nair. Nice to meet you guys.
He's the little brother. So I just want to start off with saying that I'm so proud to have the privilege of being Nick Nair's twin brother. You know, many people, they don't have the opportunity of what I had, to be a twin, to have another person that exactly looks like you. You know, and to argue with, you know, to make fun of, because you just feel like that you're just talking to another person, you know, and I'm just so proud of him. He was going to do so much, and he was going to do so much good in this world. We were going to do great things together, you know, and it just, he was going to be the best man of my wedding, you know, and funny story is that in one of Nick's classes, he had an assignment, and he had to write, I don't know what class it's for, but he had to write an essay, but he actually wrote his best man speech. What is it? Public speaking. So, yeah, as you can see, he totally needed that, but no, I'm just messing. So yeah, like, it's just extraordinary, and like, just how many people he has touched, you know? Whenever it's back home or here in OU, he will always be on campus and would always talk to someone. Every time you see him around, you'll just see him talking to someone. And he has made a huge impact in my life for being the big brother, you know? And now, luckily, I have Kian right here, and I'm now the man of the house. So like, but But Nick and I, we also have the same voice. Him and I, we also sang and whatnot, and we have very identical tenor voices. And I'm just going to miss the fact of him just singing in the middle of the night, and then I'm just like, Nick, be quiet. Oh my God. But his love for meteorology was, I also had a love for meteorology, but it all started when we were younger. We would just watch the weather graph, not the news, just a weather graph, just the storm going up and down, and there's like piano music playing on the background, and like Nick and I, we would always pretend to be like a tornado, and and it's just extraordinary that even though Nick's dream of singing and whatnot, he always had that other dream, and that is to do meteorology and to do what he loved, to be the singing meteorologist. I'll give it to Kian.
Today we're here because of the three boys that we love. So I just want everyone to look around. Just please look around real quickly. Just see the people who, not only Nick, but Drake and Gavin, who they touch. We're all here for one reason, and that's to celebrate who they were and what they accomplished. Being Nick's youngest brother, we had a tough relationship just because I would make fun of him for things, he would make fun of me for things. We just had that brotherly love relationship. But he really taught me who I was. Going through middle school and just entering high school, it's scary, and Nick was the person who really held my hand through it and who explained everything to it, and without him, I wouldn't be able to be standing and saying something in the mic right now. Nick was a light, and he was always the brightest one in our family. No matter what, he was the happiest person, and he made sure everybody was happy with him. So I want to thank you guys for being here, and in honor of Nick, I just want to say thank you.
So, I'm Kate, as most of you already know. But again, I mean, the boys have pretty much just taken all the right words, that all we can do is express love for everyone, and that really was the true message that these three boys did do for everyone. And just to acknowledge too that, we have everybody from not just here in the States, but everyone from all over the world that has come together and has been a part of this, and everyone wants to contribute to this. We had a great meeting this morning, and just the expressions from the love that was in the room, they just explained that everyone is just reaching to us. And for my family that's from the UK, I mean, that was one of Nicholas's dreams too. He wanted to go and be in Reading in the UK and study abroad, and that was the beauty of this school. We knew that he would have that opportunity, and honestly, when we first saw this campus back in, he was 15, so they were pretty young. From the first steps that we walked on campus, and we see all those red phone box, and we went through the library. It was just like, okay, this is Harry Potter world. We belong here. I mean, it's like creaky floorboards and stained glass windows, and all of a sudden we're all excited, and Nicholas is just like going, shh, Mom, quiet. I'm just like, it's okay. I mean, I'm sure we're all right. But anyway, I just thought I'd add a few little, that's our history here. So, and being there, like, our kids are first generation here. So my husband and I, we've just done this together, and that's all we knew. And we had a lot of support from all our American friends, but honestly, we were totally clueless, but we made it. But I want to just say thank you, and, we just want to share the love today, and thank you.
I'm basically a great public speaker, but I doubt it's going to happen today because I'll cry more than I can speak. But I love cooking and have to touch this. Nick and his spaghetti has become a legendary story. So he would often call me and ask me for recipes, and I would tell him, you don't have to cook from scratch, you know. Slap in some of the spices you have and that will make a great food. And he often impressed his friend to show his culinary talent. And I don't know what to say, but he's a good chef. Okay, to Nicholas and all the other boys that we have lost today. We pray. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kriti. I'm the vice president from Indian Student Association, and this is my friend and our publicist, Siddhi Patel. We are representing Indian Student Association, and as Krishna was mentioning earlier, and a few people also mentioned that Nick has been really involved around the campus, and they were not lying. He has been an incredible part of ISA, and we, as exec, has been truly blessed to have Nick Nair in our community. Yeah, but I don't think I can say anything more, but it'd be our immense pleasure to give the Nair family a certificate of appreciation and a few Indian flag pins.
Thank you. Next, the Short family will speak and be presented a memento by Dr. Greg McFarquhar, head of the Cooperative Institute.
Hi, everyone. Hi. This is going to be my new name. Sorry, other kids. I'm Beth. This is Al. This is Evan and Devin. I, like my son, have a plan. I wrote it at 5 o'clock this morning. When we were asked if we wanted to speak at this service, my thought was, how many hours do I get? I want everyone to know everything about Gavin, but I don't think that was their intention, but I'll start at the beginning. Gavin is our first child, first grandchild on the Short family, somewhere in the middle in the Schrank family. He was born with a condition called pneumomediastinum, and I can spell it. It means he aspirated meconium when he was born, so he had tears in his lungs. We got to hold him for all of 30 seconds, and they took him away, which was brutal. He spent 9 days there, and he was the biggest baby in the room. And that was the beginning of learning about so many new things because of him. It was apparent early on that Gavin was not developing the same as other kids his age. First he had speech therapy, then occupational therapy, and then he had an autism diagnosis when he turned 3. We were given a thick booklet of paper that told us the things to expect that he couldn't do, his limitations, and I don't know, maybe we took it as a challenge. I know I'm pretty freaking stubborn. We had to relearn everything we thought we knew about raising a child. It took about 6 years for him to teach us how to parent him. And we had the help of a hell of a lot of early childhood educators, and they know who they are. As parents, you put your time, your effort, and your love into developing your child to their fullest potential. Gavin's youth was filled with math workbooks, reading, travel, road trips, chess, Monopoly, and a few consistent friends. Scouting, most of the time with Al by his side. He discovered more of the world, and in it, he discussed his autism as a facet of his personality, not what defined him. He was gentle, he was kind, he was brilliant. And he had an incredible memory. We called him our walking Rolodex when he was a little kid because he remembered everything, especially if it had a number in it. And then he just knew it all. I lost my place. He could never have enough knowledge, but he always had those social challenges. When Gavin's path brought him to OU, we were terrified he wouldn't make friends, and he was so far from home. We were so worried he wouldn't have the college experience that we so desperately wanted for him to have. But he found y'all, his freaks and geeks. And I love you guys so much. We know. They not only accepted his goofiness and awkwardness, but they loved him for it. It's what made him unique and special. Those qualities were what made him Gavin. We're devastated to lose Gavin. With his bright and amazing future. But we're so humbled and content knowing that he got to experience this amazing, amazing group of friends. And we love you. Everyone keeps saying that we're so strong, but we're not. What you see in front of you is a mom who's shattered and a family who's shattered. But we're being propped up by all of your stories, your love, and your prayers. Every piece of me wishes that we didn't have to be here. But we take comfort in knowing that Gavin spent his last hours doing what he loved with 2 other amazing young men who shared his passions and they loved him. And we thank you for allowing us to share our Gavin with you. Just by virtue of the alphabet, we're the last family to speak. And I wanted to share something that Gavin said back in April of 21. We think it may have been around the first time he storm chased with a bunch of you. But I think all 3 of these boys could have said the same thing the same day. You guys all know what it is, and you're already crying. Okay, this is a quote from Gavin, April 25th of 2021. Doing what I love, with my friends and family always by my side, is what I've always dreamed of. It's happening, and it's all I could ever ask for. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Greg McFarquhar. I'm the director of the Cooperative Institute for Severe and High Impact Weather Research and Operations. We were very fortunate to have Gavin working with us for the last year and a half. He was a tremendous undergraduate researcher. He was extremely bright, diligent, and an enthusiastic collaborator. Gavin's research focused on examining the post-landfall evolution of thunderstorms following hurricane landfall. And after only 1 year of work, his research had made so much progress that it provided the foundation for a journal publication that will be pursued. So the work he has done will ultimately make it into operations, and he will have an influence on society and helping protect other lives. And so it's just incredible. This speaks to his prolific abilities. It's very rare for an undergraduate student to make that kind of progress in a year. We're going to present you a copy of his frame poster, and it was awarded Best Presentation in the session for the first year Research Experience or FIRE program. And just to tell you what that means, I was there last week. There's about 80 presentations. His was the best, 1 of 80. I truly believed that he was going to be a leader. I don't know whether he would have chosen research or forecasting, but he was going to be a leader in this field. He was just an incredible young man. And I asked Ben Schenkel, who he worked most closely with, for some input, and he said, most importantly, Gavin was a kind, charismatic, and genuine young adult and a great friend to Ben. I already deeply miss him and will never forget the impact he had on my life.
Thank you, families, for your strength in speaking to us about your sons. Now, Dr. Jens Redemann, Director of the School of Meteorology, will speak.
Thank you. Okay. You'll have to forgive me. As a lecturer in this room, I'm not used to the first 4 rows having anybody in them. This was not in my job description. Darren, we're going to have a chat at some point here. To the Nair, Short, and Brooks family, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and students of the School of Meteorology, we'd like to extend our deepest condolences. Like all the other speakers, I struggled for several days with what to say here that could add to your path going forward, and it's rough. I remember the moment when my mom was in her last year fighting cancer. She was given 6 months, and 3 years in, she was starting to show signs of slowing down a little. So the oncologist said to us, this is the time to not worry about putting more days into a life, but putting more life into your days. That was a rough moment, but from all accounts I've heard about Nicholas and Gavin and Drake, they managed to put a lot of life into their days already. So rather than focusing on what they could have accomplished going forward, I think we need to focus on what it is they accomplished up to this moment in time, right here, right now. From the accounts I heard, Nick danced and sang his way through life. Drake had journals of storms with all the facts memorized. And Gavin couldn't help but help all the time. And all three of them did that while joking, smiling, and laughing their way through life. So as I'm thinking about what it means to put more life into our days, I came up with 3 things that these young men clearly have accomplished already. It was a great privilege to meet the parents of all 3 of these young men this morning. It is abundantly clear that these young men were surrounded by loving families. Love. I could stop here, but I can think of more things that these young men put into their lives. They found a passion, the passion that we all share, almost all of us here, trying to wrestle away secrets of nature from nature itself. And what greater meaning to have found this kind of a passion in life. And then finally, I'm going to go international on you here. The original Ode to Joy says something like, Wem der große Wurf gelungen, eines Freundes Freund zu sein. That is German and loosely translates to those who had accomplished this amazing feat of being another friend's friend. And I've always loved that. It's not finding friends, seeking friends. It's just being a friend to somebody else. Love, meaning, friendship. To me, that's about as much life as you can put into your days, and these young men accomplished all of that. So now that we've established that they were great humans, I can speak from the heart when I assure you that being a scientist is all about the quest for truth. It's not about awards, certificates, or degrees. And these young men were seeking for the truth from nature. So, to Nick, Gavin, and Drake, I say, you will forever be humans and scientists of this school's community, and you will not be forgotten. And to the friends and family, I wish that you'll find solace from knowing that these 3 young men had, in their own way, mastered the art of putting a lot of life into their days. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rudderman. Now we ask Dean Barry and Moore to provide us with a few words.
There's simply no words. There's simply no words. I thought about this last night, and when I was trying to find the words, I just knew there were no words. And I started thinking about that, and that in some ways, when we think and when we feel, and we actually don't think of words. Something else is going inside of us as human beings as we think and feel, but it's not words. So I thought, well, maybe I could just say there are no words and sit down. But when there are no words, sometimes you need to go and find where words matter. And greatly admire an American poet that is thought of as English, but he was born in St. Louis. That's T.S. Eliot. And he wrote a very powerful poem called Four Quartets. And in the poem, and I paraphrase it just slightly, Eliot says, time present and time past are now contained in time future. Everything that we have done, every feeling that Drake, Nick, and Gavin felt, every idea, every word, every equation, every number is part of time future. It will be with us forever. This morning, Jens and I met with the families. And something began to emerge. First, I got unbelievable strength from the families. And I began to see something with these three families. When one would start to crumble a little, they could lean on the others. And I thought of it was like a teepee. If you put up three strong poles, they can lean on each other and remain upright. So there's something began to say to me, three, there's a connection. And as I listened throughout the day, I began to see the connection. Three. One for all, and all for one. These are the Three Musketeers. These are the Three Musketeers. And if you think about one for all, it means for all. One for all. And then all for one. That will be made forever.
Thank you, Dean Moore. Thank you all for being here to celebrate the lives of Drake Brooks, Nicholas Nair, and Gavin Short. It is our honor to know them. I know I've been inspired by them. I know we all have. And we will uphold their memories and serve in the spirit they served. Will you please join me for a moment of silence? Thank you. We invite you to join us for light refreshments in the atrium. We'll ask that you please remain in your seats until all of the family members have had a chance to exit.